Hi and good evening. This is Valerie Willis with the Circle of Willis. Today is October 11th, 2021, and it is a little past 7. So welcome to the Circle. And tonight we've got some exciting stuff going on. Last week I did not have a podcast because I was traveling. And I know everybody missed me because everything we do here is very exciting. And it's fun to learn new things. So especially about our history, about our country, or about ourselves. So today, what we're going to be covering is I'm going to go over some of the websites for brand new people. So bear with us about 10 minutes maybe to go over the podcastforfreedom.com and our Willis for U.S. Senate or willisforcongress.com website, where we have a place where you can sign the petition to forensic paper ballot audit the Michigan 2020 election that I'm heading up as a damaged party and a claimant. And then later what we'll do is we're going to cover some laws of the flag. Because remember, week before last, I asked you to go down to your county courthouses and our township offices and look and see what's on top of the flag. As you can see in my background, my flags are now on flagpoles because I just did a meet and greet as a candidate for governor of Michigan for 2020 in Oceana County last night. Had a wonderful meet and greet. And I shout out to all the Oceana people that I met. It was a great conversation, and they learned probably more about Michigan than they ever thought possible. But I do know a lot, and I do share a lot, and Michigan needs its people. So it's just the way it is. All right, so then after the flag code and talking about the flags and laws of the flag, I'm going to go in the MARICOPA audit, the last segment on the MARICOPA audit and what the audit means, because nobody is really talking about it, which is kind of irritating. It's irritating to me because didn't they drum up and tell us this was the most important thing that's ever happened and it's a big audit? And then it was a big nothing burger because they told us what we already knew. But the guys who did the audit, very, very disappointing. They got data and facts in it, but they did not come to the same conclusion that all of us are coming to. So it's just more corporate, you know what. So shoveling. Get out your shit shovel because we got to shovel some SHIT. That's what it comes down to. All right, so, and then if we have time today after going through the MARICOPA audit, we're going to dive into the Army Field Manual and learn some things about what they taught the military in, I believe it's 1962. So we will look at that tonight as well. But for now, what we're going to do, let's jump into some websites. So let me share the screen here. And we'll go first to Willis for U.S. Senate. Here we go. This is the website that I ran as a candidate in 2020 when I ran for U.S. Senate. And I guess I'm going to go back to sharing the big screen because let me try this one more time. I want you to see the whole big thing. Okay. Now, this is not the same website I had in 2020 because that one was a heck of a website. But this is a picture from 2020 and audit the paper ballot. That's the explanation of auditing the paper ballot. And then we go into signing the petition. So you go to sign the petition to forensic audit the paper ballots of the Michigan 2020 election, and you click the link here, and it takes you to my form. We, the people of Michigan, demand a forensic paper ballot audit of the 2020 election. We stand with Valerie Wyllys, candidate, United States Senate, Michigan 2020, U.S. TPM party on ballot, who is demanding a forensic audit. I'm demanding a forensic audit because I am a damaged party. I was a candidate in all 83 counties. Please sign this petition and please donate $3 per signature minimum. You may donate more if you wish to sign this online petition. We, the people, stand with U.S. Senate candidate Val Wyllys, constitutional conservative, who ran on the ballot with the U.S. TPM party in 2020 and ran a race in all 83 counties. Wyllys had votes that she had earned and were counted, then they were deleted right in front of her eyes. Wyllys had many votes stolen from her. Wyllys was denied due process of a fair voting process. Wyllys has evidence and an affidavit to prove her claim. Wyllys also has evidence to prove that President Donald J. Trump won the state of Michigan. For all the above reasons and many more, Wyllys and we, the people of Michigan, call for a forensic paper ballot audit by a third party of the state of Michigan's 2020 elections. All 83 counties, all races, all votes. This is about all candidates. This is about the people. This is about all votes, because our true votes matter. We sign this petition to demand our public servants follow this demand and carry out the forensic paper ballot audit immediately. Thank you. So you fill out the form. These are all required. You donate, enter your credit card number, and hit submit. And that's all there is to it. It's very cool and very quick. Now I'm also looking for volunteers. I'm looking for, there's a parent page on here because I am running into a lot of people with school board issues. So this is a resource. There is no COVID. There's no caca. And, you know, as soon as you put up a video, they delete it. Then there's downloads here as well that you can use to help you in your walk of truth. I can't read them because I can't. The state health code is here, all 720 pages of it. And this white paper right here, very, very important, can help you. It's a speech, but it's also got tons of evidence. And the evidence in the blue hyperlinks, you can go to every single article they use to validate what they did. So it's very interesting. Here's a couple of videos of Dr. David Martin. Excellent, excellent page. And then we're also looking for people to help us in every county. They're called county ambassadors. And what they do is they take and get the petition signed. They collect the $3, and then they also host me as I come around in my campaign for running for governor. So we hold meet and greets. And so we're looking for volunteers in all 83 counties. So if you'd like to help, just reach out and call us at 989-448-9580. Again, 989-448-9580. And we would love to talk to you and love to do some training and help you get started on that. So that's that website. And then next, I'd like to go to Podcast for Freedom, show you around a bit. This is what some friends and I have been working on for the past 6-7 months now. It's called podcastforfreedom.com, where the demand for freedom meets education and action on your journey to freedom. Very important. So, and we have the Who Knew podcast. We have the Rub podcast. We have the Parliamentary Law podcast. We have a faith page, a listen page, and lots of videos. Okay, so if you go down the home page here a bit, and this is podcastforfreedom.com. podcast, FORfreedom.com. All the Circle of Willises are shared here, and you can watch from the beginning to episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and tonight is the 7th episode of Circle of Willis. And then also you can go to our subscribe page because there's many free videos here, but we also have a Patreon channel. And so you go to subscribe, the subscribe page, you click on the first link, and it will take you right to Patreon, where you can sign up for a subscription. $5, $10, or $20 per month. So $5 you get a little bit, $10 you get half, and $20 you get every single video that we make. And you will see videos like constitutional history lessons from the Who Knew broadcast. And this is Katie Cracken's page. Okay, with Katie Cracken. We've got the Rub podcast where Mary Quite Contrary covered a lot of the caca stuff. All right, and then I teach Robert's Rules of Order, parliamentary law class, to teach assemblies how to run their meetings and to keep their assemblies safe. I also teach let's see, there's a lot of videos in here. We got the Circle of Willis, but we have let's see where it's at. Podcast. There we go. I was on the wrong page. Sorry about that. So we have the Katie Cracken, Who Knew. There's an excellent intro video on Katie and why she's doing this. The Rub, Mary Quite Contrary. Our intro to parliamentary law. Our faith chain reading. We have the Willis Children Hour podcast, which takes historical documents and historical manuals, spelling books, all kinds of things that children are interested in, and puts them in a video format for parents to share with their children. Now we have a brand new How to Teach Yourself How to Learn podcast coming out very soon. Okay, I'm very excited about that. And then we have Willis's Heart of Commerce class that's ongoing right now. Now, if it doesn't appear on this website, Podcast for Freedom, it is on Patreon for a small subscription rate. So you can sign up month to month and pay a little bit and get to know us, because you will be shocked at what you learn. You really will. So we also have a faith channel here too, where we have the 1599 Geneva Patriot Bible, which you can read right here. And we're also doing a live reading of it. The Geneva Bible chain reading, which is on this page just below When a Christian Gets Angry. I love this video. You should watch that. And then we have the Bible chain reading below it, Podcast for Freedom there. And then we have listen videos. Contact us. And then all the Michigan videos have been erased because everything on the Bill Bailey case was deleted. But podcastforfreedom.com, go there and check it out. It's a wonderful place to get more information, learn to walk your path of freedom, learn to stand up for yourself, and learn that we are sovereign souls from God put on this planet to be happy, not to be miserable, not to be sad, and not to suffer. That's not why we were put here. So all we need to do is get some education. You're welcome to go to Podcast for Freedom or wherever you choose to go. But we need to start working together in Michigan to save our state, to save our counties, to save our townships, our homes, and our families. It's very important. Another reason why I'm making this video. All right, so let's jump in to the MARICOPA audit. Thank you for letting me talk to you about all the things we have for helping you on your journey and education. And We've been working at this for about 7 months, and we've been working very hard. So thank you for your patience for letting me show that to you. But what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into the MARICOPA audit, and I'm going to see if we can bring it up. It might take a bit to, okay, I'm going to have to do this a different way. So we're going to do a screen share. Restream. Okay. I wonder how we can do this. MARICOPA audit window. Flag code. All right. Technology can be quite wonderful, and it can also suck. So what I will have to do, I'm going to have to look up real quick MARICOPA audit results. See if I can find it just on my regular tab. Audit reports. And then we'll be able to go over it. I'm going to go here and look. Okay, that's not it. Okay, Cyber Ninjas releases findings on MARICOPA audit election. Let's see if we can pull this up. I'm looking for the paperwork, not the... Okay, so I know I have the MARICOPA audit findings on my database. Boy, this is maddening. Sorry, everyone. You're just going to have to be patient with me a little bit. Internet seems to be real slow tonight, too. Okay, I downloaded it. We'll go back to the studio. Boy, the internet is running really slow tonight. I'm on live, Mom. I can't talk. Anyway, okay. Computer's not working. Technology's not working. It's just life, man. It's just life. Come on, work. Okay, sorry about that. Boy, it's just one thing after another, isn't it? Okay, so I'm gonna try to find Try to find MARICOPA audit stuff. Search MARICOPA. Boy, isn't it funny? Every time you try to record or do something important, some contractor starts making noise. That always happens. They find you. They know you're doing something important, and so they got to make noise too. Okay, hang on. Very, very sorry about this, guys. Bear with me. This stuff is not easy to do. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go off for a bit and find it. So we'll call this a bathroom break. Well, my documents, the issue I'm having is my documents on my computer will not come up on my search bar unless I search for them, and things are not lining up right now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move along. I have other things I'm going to work on. So the MARICOPA audit finalized version of what it meant and what they found. We'll have to wait for next week, which is episode 8. Today's episode 7. I sincerely apologize, but I'm going to move on. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the code of the flag. I am super uber interested in the meaning of flags, the flag codes and things like that. So what we are doing is we're discussing the meaning of the flag, and also what the meaning of the things on the finials on top of a flagpole means. And so I'm going to read a couple things to you. Now, you might not have heard of this before, so this might be new, but I want you to go out and find out more information. But also, don't be surprised if you Google things that nothing I talk about comes up. They've removed many things off Google now that used to be there that are no longer there. Okay, so the flag of our country with the fringe around it is a foreign flag. Why is that? Because I think it's a Title IV flag, which is the regular flag with the stars and the stripes, has now had a yellow fringe added. Okay. Now, the flag had to be changed because the United States of America Corporation lost the copyright to the flag. I'll say it again. They had to change the flag because they lost the copyright to the flag. Go ahead and fact check me on that. You notice how at one time it wasn't rimmed in gold braid or fringe, it was just the flag by itself. But at a certain date and time, the U.S. American Corporation lost the copyright of the flag. Now, on top of the flag, a flagpole, there's finials. There's eagles, there's balls, there's acorns, and a spear. And each of these symbols has a different meaning. And I'm going to go into this document now to see if we can get some more information on the flag. As adopted by the National Flag Conference, Washington, D.C., June 14th to the 15th, 1923, and revised and endorsed by the Second Flag Conference, 1924, the 77th Congress, second session, December 22nd, 1942. These are all the places where the flag code was changed, updated, or whatever. So they talk about the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. They talk about the display and use of flag by civilians, codification of rules and customs, time and occasion for display. It is a universal custom to display the flag only from sunrise to sunset on buildings and on stationary flagstaffs in the open. However, when a patriotic effect is desired, the flag may be displayed 24 hours a day if properly illuminated during the hours of darkness. The flag should be hoisted briskly and lowered ceremoniously. The flag should not be displayed on days when the weather is inclement, except when an all-weather flag is displayed. The flag should be displayed on all days, special days. The flag should be displayed daily on or near the main administration building of every public institution. The flag should be displayed in or near every polling place on election day. The flag should be displayed during school days in or near every schoolhouse. Position and manner of display. Now, this is interesting. The flag, when carried in a procession with other flag or flags, should be either on the marching right, that is the flag's own right, or if there is a line of other flags in front of the center of that line. The flag should not be displayed on a float in a parade staff or as provided in subsection 1 of this section. The flag should not be draped over the hood, top sides, or back of a vehicle, of a railroad, train, or a boat. So, no other flag or pennant should be placed above or if on the same level to the right of the flag of the United States of America, except during church services conducted by naval chaplains at sea, when the church pennant may be flown above the flag during church services for the personnel of the Navy. No person shall display the flag of the United Nations or any other national or international flag equal, above, or in a position of superior prominence or honor to, or in place of, the flag of the United States at any place within the United States or any territory or possession thereof. All right. The flag of the United States of America, when it is displayed with another flag against a wall from crossed staffs, should be on the right, the flag's own right, and its staff should be in front of the staff of the other flag. The flag of the United States of America should be at the center and at the highest point of the group when a number of flag states or localities or pennants of the societies are grouped and displayed from staffs. Then they talk about how to display it properly from a projecting horizontally or at an angle at a window or balcony. How to display it over the middle of the street, how to display it on a speaker's platform. And this information is from legion.org, documents/legion/pdf/flag code. Okay. The flag, when flown at half staff, should first be hoisted to the peak for an instant and then lowered to the half staff position. The flag should be again raised to the peak before it is lowered for the day. On Memorial Day, the flag should be displayed at half staff until noon only, then raised to the top of the staff. By order of the President, the flag shall be flown at half staff upon the death of principal figures of the United States government and the governor of a state, territory, or possession as a mark of respect to their memory. In the event of the death or other officials or foreign dignitaries, the flag is to be displayed at half staff according to presidential and orders. The term half staff means the position of the flag when it is 1/2 the distance between the top and bottom of the staff. When the flag is used to cover a casket, it should be placed so that the union is at the head and over the left shoulder. The flag should not be lowered onto the grave or allowed to touch the ground. And a flag is never allowed to touch the ground. When the flag is suspended across a corridor or a lobby in a building with only one main entrance, it should be suspended vertically with the union of the flag to the observer's left upon entering. Okay, respect for the flag. Now this is key. The flag should never be displayed with the union down, except as a signal of dire distress in instances of extreme danger to life or property. So, if you have a flag on your home and you are in distress, you put it the tall way. Okay? You don't display it horizontally. You display it the other way. All right? To show distress. The flag should never touch anything such as the ground, the floor, water, or merchandise. A flag should never be carried flat or horizontally, but always aloft and free. There's several rules of the flag for taking care of it, how to hoist it. Okay, that was wonderful. That was called the flag code. Now we'll go back to the studio, and there's one more website I want to show you. Emblems on national flags, which is very interesting. This is allstarflags.com. Flags are an essential aspect of a nation's identity. By combining colors, emblems, and crests, nations can create a theme that represents the nation over which the flag flies. From the origin of their use, flags have always incorporated an emblem or design or some kind to signify an entity's identity. So the flag identifies you or your country. Okay, so flags are used to communicate information such as intent and emotions. They also show jurisdiction. Flag communications are intended for comrades and enemies alike. Flags share information through a combination of colors and symbols. The following colors can take on various meanings in flags: red, danger, hardiness, valor, revolution, bloodshed, courage, power. White means peace, purity, innocence. Blue, liberty, vigilance, truth and loyalty, perseverance and justice. Green, agriculture, safety, youth, hope, fertility. Yellow, caution, justice, wealth. Black, death, mourning, determination, ethnic heritage, triumph over enemies. Color combinations represent different messages and symbolize certain national groups. For example, red, white, and blue symbolize revolution and freedom and are representative of pan-Slavic nations and the French tricolor. Red, yellow, and green are pan-African colors. Red, yellow, black, and green are pan-Arab colors. All right, so that is more information about flags. Now, next week, what I'm going to do is I will describe what the finials on top of a flag are. The eagle, the ball, the acorn, or the spear, and what they mean. Okay, so I asked some of you last week to go look for and see in your local community what your top of the finial on your flag in your townships, what they have on top of them. All right, so we've got about 20 minutes left for our hour call tonight, and what we're going to do is I'm going to dive into the Army Field Manual, Civil Affairs, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars section. So let's see what we can learn in this new book tonight. Okay, here's the Department of the Army Field Manual, FM 41-10. This is right on Google. Civil Affairs Operations, Headquarters, Department of the Army, May 1962. All right. Introduction, Civil Affairs Functions, Organization for Civil Affairs Operations, General, Cellular, Personal, Training, Civil Affairs Staff Functions, Procedures, the Army in the Community, Civil Affairs Cold War Operations, General, Civil Action, Unconventional Warfare, Combat and Post-Combat CA Operations, Employment of Civil Affairs Operations, Employment of Civil Affairs Organization, Unit Operations, Displaced Persons, Refugees and Evacuees, Civil Defense and Area Damage Control, Special Operations, Other Agency Support of CA Operations, Control Measures, Control and Supervisions, Civil Affairs Tribunal, Published Regulatory Matter, Intelligence, Civil Affairs Requirement for Intelligence, Civil Affairs Support and Intelligence Activities, Operations of the Intelligence Section, General, Requirements, Procurement, Distribution, Hospitalization and Transportation. And then they have the references. This is very interesting. Back more than once to this manual to share information with you, but you can download it yourself and put it right on your computer. And we're going to go into it a little bit tonight. This manual is published for use of all personnel concerned with civil affairs operations. It is intended for use in conjunction with FM 41-5. This is FM 41-10. It is generally applicable to nuclear and non-nuclear general or limited war, as well as to operations of the Army conducted during situations short of war, the Cold War, and peacetime. It contains procedures employed by civil affairs staff, sections, units, and teams in furthering national policy of the United States in fulfilling international obligations and in providing maximum support for military operations by the planning, conduct, and supervision of civil affairs and operations and activities. Definition. Let's go through the definitions because we got to know what we're talking about. In this manual, terms will be used as defined below. Civil affairs, those phases of the activities of a commander which embrace the relationship between the military forces and the civil authorities and people in a friendly, including U.S. home territory or occupied area where military forces are present. In an occupied country or area, this may include the exercise of executive, legislative, and judicial authority by the occupying power. Civil affairs operations, those activities which directly support a commander's political military mission. Any project or activity of a military unit involving points of contact with or design to influence or control civilians and civil organizations outside the military establishment can be classified as a civil affairs operation regardless of the location of the activity or the size of the participating military unit. I wonder, does this have anything to do with the Chinese UN forces, the 2 battalions worth in Grayling, Michigan? The legal aspects of California civil affairs operations may be governed by a provision in the United States law, including the law of a state, territory, possession, or other political subdivision of the United States, a bilateral or multilateral agreement, including an agreement concluded without the formalities required of treaties. A rule of law established by custom or provision of the law of a foreign state may be relevant by provision of the United States law. The terms of an international agreement or rule of international law, the scope of military authority or control in civil affairs operation. Okay, civil defense. All those activities and measures designed or undertaken to minimize the effects upon the civilian population caused or which would be caused by an enemy attack. Deal with the immediate emergency conditions which could be created by such an attack, and effectuate emergency repairs to or emergency restoration of vital utilities and facilities destroyed or damaged by any such attack. Civil emergency. Emergencies affecting public welfare as a result of an enemy attack, an insurrection, civil disturbance, earthquake, fire, flood, or other public disaster or equivalent emergency which endangers life and property or disrupt the usual process of government. Civil affairs agreement defines the relationship between a visiting force on one hand and the indigenous population and governmental authority of the host country on the other hand. Status of forces, a term used to describe the legal position of visiting military force deployment in the territory of a friendly state. A visiting military force, that would be the Chinese Army in Grayling, the 2 battalions worth. Okay, so let's scroll down a little bit. General war, conflict between international powers or coalition of powers involving use of their total war-making ability with national survival of both sides at issue. Armed conflict, in which objectives of the combatants do not constitute a direct threat to survival of the major opposing power blocks. Limitations invoked may be restrictive on means employed or upon area of operations. Situation short of war, a state of international relationships designed to alter and maintain the balance of power between contending power blocks. While it does not include armed conflict, the use of force or military operations is not precluded. Such operations may be conducted to counter or deter use of force by another nation, to encourage a weak or faltering government to maintain or restore order, or to protect U.S. personnel or property. Does that sound like the United States right now? Okay, the basic civil affairs mission includes implementation of national policies, fulfillment of international objectives, support of military operations, maintain public order, safeguard, mobilize, and utilize local resources such as labor, supplies, and facilities for tactical or logistical purposes, control disease and epidemic conditions that might endanger the military, prevent civilian interference with military operations. Emergency civil assistance. When directed or requested by appropriate authority, CA operations to assist in civil emergencies, situations resulting from natural disaster, unrest, or enemy attack. Continuity of policy, command responsibility, mission, economy of force. You can read all these on your own. Continuity of plans and operations, integration and combined operations, military authority. Military authority. The scope of military authority varies with the locale and the situation, and for convenience of discussion broken down into three general categories: an occupied territory, a combat zone, and other areas. Let's read the occupied territory. The commander of an occupying force has a right within limits set by international law to demand and enforce such obedience from inhabitants of an occupied area as may be necessary for the accomplishment of his mission and the proper administration of an area. The law of war places limits on the exercise of a belligerent's power in the interest of protecting combatants and non-combatants from unnecessary suffering. My friends, you need to look up the word belligerent in an old legal dictionary like Bouvier's from 1856. Look it up. Commanders are required to refrain from employing any kind of violence not actually necessary for military purposes and to give due regard to the principles of humanity and chivalry. Okay, military limitations. Civilian inhabitants have a right to freedom from unnecessary interference with their individual liberties and their property rights. Members of U.S. Armed Forces are individually and collectively responsible for compliance with all requirements of law and regulation affecting their relations with civil authorities and populations. The principle of humanity prohibits use of any violence not actually necessary for the purpose of the war. War is no excuse for ignoring established humanitarian principles. Since all these principles have not become legal rules, a military commander must consider whether a proposed course of action will be humane even though it's not specifically prohibited. Benefit of the governed. Subject to the requirements of the situation, government should be for the benefit of the governed. The Civil Affairs Organization assists the commander in carrying out those obligations imposed by treaty or international law respecting the governments and inhabitants of territories the U.S. Armed Forces are deployed. Then it goes into environmental factors. These are how they do it, people. Implementation of the policy, range of interest. Occupation of enemy homeland, occupation of liberated territory with or without civilian affairs agreement. Show of force, peacetime activities, war activities, assistance in civil defense, emergency, or disaster. Representation, military activities, and civil affairs. Since from a conceptual standpoint, civil affairs is the inclusive total of all military-civil relationships, no attempt will be made in this manual to enumerate every conceivable operational aspect of these relationships. As a guide for planning and training purposes, however, the following activities are typically representative of civil affairs and constitute processes through which the functions are performed. So this tells you how they move and how they get their missions accomplished. Negotiation, participation, coordination, support, control. Control, when authorized, of the circulation of civilian, the agency of government, economic processes, and civilian activities or conditions which may affect operations. Applications of international law. Facilitating the restoration of peace. There's a lot in here I'm not going to cover. Phasing of civil affairs. Next week I will reveal why I'm doing this. Civil affairs and time phases, hostilities, relationship to civil government. Okay. Now look at this. So we got military support operations, control populations and resources. Interesting graph. So there's a lot in here for you to read. And next week, we're going to get into silent weapons for quiet wars. But as you can see, this is a manual that was instituted in 1962. It's still used today. It's for use during wartime. And depending on the view, the could be considered a war. So, like I said, I have a very specific reason why I'm bringing this up. But tonight, we had some technical difficulties, so I apologize for that. But there's very interesting things going on right now. I'm also talking to a lot of groups, parents with children in school as young as 3 wearing masks now in Michigan. I'm talking to people who are employees of companies trying to discover their rights under law, humanitarian rights, medical rights, all these things. And there's going to be much more education shared in the very near future for all these groups coming up against this movie that they're trying to convince us all of is real. And our prior videos on Rumble, if you go to Podcast for Freedom, DOTCOM on Rumble, right there, that's the one right there. You will see that we've already discussed in depth, I think 4 videos already on the you know what. Okay, so go there and read those. And then we have where you can sign petitions. We're going to forensic audit, paper ballot audit the vote of Michigan 2020 election. I am a damaged claimant. I'm the only one that can bring a case to court. So don't sign other petitions that are going around. They're not damaged claimants. Go to the WillisForCongress.com, sign the petition, please. We need everybody in Michigan to do that. I stand for you, so I hope you stand for me. And with that, this will conclude episode 7 of the Circle of Willis. Have a blessed evening, and I look forward to seeing you next show, which is Monday, October 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.